Welcome to today's video on how to turn your current low-income or zero-income years into a financial superpower. We'll cover emergency steps for crushing high-interest debt, a smart use of low-interest student loans, and the Roth conversion strategy that can permanently reduce your lifetime taxes. To keep things smooth, we'll move step by step, starting with the agenda and then a quick educational disclaimer before we dive into tactics. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll explain why low-income years offer unique tax opportunities. Next, we'll address why high-interest consumer debt is an emergency and how to handle it. Then we'll cover debt arbitrage using lower-interest student loans. After that, we'll unpack the Roth conversion strategy that can turn taxable retirement money into tax-free growth. Finally, we'll put it all together into clear priorities, discuss big-picture risks like lifestyle creep, and close with an action plan and a couple of quick quizzes. Now, let's begin with an important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes and is not individualized financial, tax, or legal advice. Tax laws and thresholds change, and state rules can differ significantly. Before acting, verify current limits and consult a qualified professional who understands your personal situation. With that foundation set, let's explore why your zero-income window can be a genuine superpower. When your taxable income is extremely low, two doors open. First, you may be eligible for the 0% federal long-term capital gains rate up to the standard deduction limit, enabling you to realize gains without federal tax. Second, you can convert pre-tax retirement funds to Roth at very low or even zero federal tax cost if you remain under the standard deduction. However, high-interest consumer debt compounds rapidly and works against you, so it must be eliminated early. With that in mind, let's move into the emergency action you should take right away if you have high-interest debt. If you are paying interest rates near 25% on consumer debt, that is a financial emergency. The compounding cost overwhelms most investment returns. Therefore, sell investments in your taxable brokerage account and apply proceeds directly to the high-interest balance. For long-term capital gains, if your overall taxable income is low enough, you may pay 0% federal tax up to the standard deduction threshold. Be sure to verify whether your gains are long-term and to check current federal and state rules. Short-term gains are taxed as ordinary income. If you carry a credit card balance, stop using the card for new purchases, because new charges can start accruing interest immediately. Next, let's visualize your decision path with a simple flowchart. This flowchart starts with confirming whether you have very high-interest consumer debt, typically above 20% APR. If you do, the first actions are to liquidate your taxable brokerage holdings and apply the cash to the debt. If a balance remains, consider using a lower-interest student loan to eliminate the remainder, and stop using credit cards while you carry a balance. Set up autopay and tighten your budget. If there is no high-interest debt but you have taxable investments, you might harvest long-term capital gains within the 0% bracket to reset cost basis. Once the high-interest debt is gone, you can plan Roth conversions, keeping the taxable income under the standard deduction, and potentially splitting conversions across 2 tax years for maximum efficiency. Now that we've mapped the decision path, let's discuss the loan arbitrage idea in more detail. Debt arbitrage means using a lower interest loan to pay off higher interest consumer debt. If your student loan rates are meaningfully lower, it can make sense to use them to retire a 25% APR balance. However, only borrow what you need for essentials and do not inflate your lifestyle. Establish autopay, monitor your interest accrual, and consider refinancing later if terms improve. Throughout this period, stop using credit cards while carrying any balance. With the debt plan covered, let's compare high-interest consumer debt with typical student loans side by side. High-interest consumer debt compounds quickly and outpaces most investment returns, making it an emergency to eliminate. It often lacks the borrower protections available with federal student loans. In contrast, student loans commonly have lower rates, may qualify for deferment or forbearance, and offer income-driven repayment options. They also tend to allow more manageable payoff schedules or future refinancing. Given this contrast, your priority is to replace or eliminate the high-interest debt first. Having cleared the decks, let's turn to the Roth conversion opportunity. Quiz time. The question is, if you carry 25% APR credit card debt and have $3,000 in a taxable brokerage with long-term gains, what is the best first move during a zero-income year? The options are A. Keep investing and hope for higher returns. B. Sell taxable holdings and pay down the debt. C. Make only the minimum payment and hold the investments. Or D. Do a balance transfer and continue investing. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. A 25% APR cost is extraordinarily high and should be eliminated as a first priority. Selling taxable holdings to pay down the balance is the most rational move, especially since, in a low-income year, long-term gains may be taxed at 0% at the federal level, up to the standard deduction threshold. Now, let's leverage your low-income window further by converting pre-tax retirement dollars to Roth. The core move is to roll a former employer's 401k into a traditional IRA and then convert those funds to a Roth IRA during a year when your taxable income is very low. Aim to keep your total taxable income conversion amount plus any other income and realized gains under the standard deduction so that federal income tax on the conversion is 0. To expand the tax-free room, you can split the conversion across 2 consecutive tax years. Be mindful of state income taxes, Affordable Care Act premium credits, and how scholarships or fellowships may affect your taxable income and aid. For documentation, expect a Form 1099-R for the conversion and file Form 8606 to report your Roth conversion and any basis. Next, let's place this plan on a simple 2-year timeline. This timeline lays out a 2-year approach. In year 1, transfer the old 401k to a traditional IRA early, estimate all sources of income, and convert a tranche late in the year once you're confident the total will remain under the standard deduction. Remember, Roth conversions must be completed by December 31st for that tax year. In year 2, repeat the estimates and convert another tranche within your available room. Monitor state taxes and any health insurance premium credits to ensure you do not inadvertently lose benefits. Now, to make this actionable, let's walk through the steps you would follow. To execute, first, inventory all debts, noting balances and APRs. Second, liquidate taxable brokerage holdings and pay down the highest interest balances immediately. Third, if a high interest balance remains, consider using lower interest student loans to eliminate it. Fourth, stop using credit cards while any balance exists. Fifth, request a direct trustee-to-trustee rollover from your former employer's 401k to a traditional IRA to avoid withholding. Sixth, project your taxable income for the year, including any realized gains and the proposed conversion. Seventh, convert only up to the remaining standard deduction room, and consider splitting conversions across 2 tax years. Eighth, maintain documentation, expect Form 1099-R for the conversion, and file Form 8606. Ninth, automate payments and track monthly. 10th, review the plan each semester and update assumptions as your income, aid, or rules change. Next, let's see a simple numerical illustration. This table illustrates how, assuming a single filer and a standard deduction of roughly $14.6 thousand for 2024, one might convert up to the standard deduction with 0 federal income tax. In example A, converting $14,600 with no other taxable income yields 0 federal tax. In example B, $3,000 of long-term capital gains uses part of the room, leaving $11,600 available for a 0-tax Roth conversion. These are simplified examples for teaching purposes only. Verify current thresholds, your actual filing status, and state tax rules. With the math in mind, let's check your understanding with a quick question. Here is the next quiz. Which of the following counts toward the income that fills your standard deduction space when planning a Roth conversion? The options are A, Roth IRA principal withdrawals, B, traditional to Roth conversion amounts, C, qualified scholarships excluded from taxable income, or D, employer 401k match left in a former plan. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Traditional to Roth conversion amounts are generally taxable as ordinary income, and therefore they consume your standard deduction room. Roth principal withdrawals are typically not taxable. Qualified scholarships that are excluded from taxable income do not fill the room. An employer match that remains in a former plan is not taxable to you in the current year. Now let's zoom out and summarize your priorities. Your priorities are straightforward. First, eliminate high-interest consumer debt immediately. Second, exploit tax efficiency by executing Roth conversions during low-income years. keeping total taxable income under the standard deduction. Third, minimize student loan borrowing to essentials only. As a bonus, automate your payments and review your plan quarterly. With priorities in hand, let's visualize the bigger picture, including specialty choice and lifestyle creep. This mind map highlights the main forces that shape long-term wealth. Specialty choice influences your income range, training duration, job market stability, and geographic flexibility. Lifestyle creep is a major threat, controlling housing costs, opting for modest transportation, targeting a healthy savings rate, and using automation and guardrails can keep spending in check. Risk management matters too. Build an emergency fund and carry appropriate insurance. Finally, maintain investing discipline with low-cost, diversified funds and consistent contributions. With the big picture mapped, let's finish with concrete tactics to beat lifestyle creep. To control lifestyle creep, set a reasonable cap on housing as a share of your take-home pay. Automate savings to occur on payday so that you pay yourself first. Choose a reliable used car to keep transportation costs low. Maintain a written budget and conduct an annual spending review. Make lifestyle upgrades gradually and only when they are truly affordable. Finally, reduce social comparison and stay focused on your long-term goals. Now, let's lock in the key takeaways. The essential points are these. High-interest consumer debt is an emergency and should be eliminated immediately. Low-income years offer unique tax opportunities, including 0% long-term capital gains and very low or zero tax Roth conversions. If absolutely necessary, use lower interest loans to replace only high-interest balances. Splitting Roth conversions across 2 tax years can maximize the tax-free rooms. Finally, avoid lifestyle creep, because your specialty choice and spending discipline will largely determine your long-term outcomes. Before we close, here is a brief wrap-up with next steps. In summary, verify your APRs, liquidate taxable holdings if needed, and eliminate high-interest debt immediately. Map your standard deduction room and plan Roth conversions over 1 or 2 years. Borrow only for essentials and avoid taking on new credit card interest. Automate your plan, track your progress monthly, and review each semester. Keep lifestyle creep in check and focus on the specialty path that fits your goals. Finally, let's close with a quick thank you and a call to action. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, please like the video, share it with a friend who needs it, and subscribe for more actionable, student-friendly money guides. In the comments, tell us your biggest zero-income year goal and which step you'll tackle first. See you in the next one.